Hey, what's up? I'm just tapping in with the video real quick, and this one, I wasn't trying to dress up for this one. This is actually what I look like with this thought occurring to me right now. I was driving. Is what I look like in the off hour. Is late. It's on right now in the night right now. But I had an idea occur to me, and I wanted to touch on that, and so I don't, it actually, it don't, it's not the type of, the idea is not the type of thing to be like flexing or flossing with the idea, but it's a little bit, it to me it's a nuanced idea, and relevant. So I'm gonna touch on it, but it's not something to be no no when I say touch on it, no pun intended, but I'm just I wasn't trying to I wasn't trying to name drop this I wasn't trying to name drop this I wasn't trying to literally name drop this video or name drop the theme by like hey, let me talk about something crucial, but also check out with the but I do I've been I've been more there's certain things that you can't, there's certain things that you get traction with in life, that there's certain ideas that occur to you around certain things, and and for me had been a lot like that with the style. For me it had been a lot like with the what I had, like I'd had idea about style for long, and when I was in the area like where I'm about to talk about, when I was very young, I'd be having idea about style. Like my mom would take me to like the Target. You could, if you know what you're doing with style, or if you have a hunch, if you have a hunch about style, you can do well with anything that you would procure, like with garments and stuff like that. You do better anywhere. The cheaper the better. Not cheaper in terms of quality, but the cheaper the price the better. This one right here was very, I went this from a sporting goods store, but it was on the clearance. Just I love me hoodies, because a lot of times hoodies look kind of slick, and they can bring an outfit together. Hoodie can, but like if you have a cool color with it, like the kind of light, the pleasant light, bright pleasant colors are normally good, but the exception proves the rule. So the good black is also good to go. I had a real type of person once said that he just liked to rock the black because black likely hadn't often been a problem for anyone. Anyhow, black is good to go. It's good for work. It's good for pleasure. All work and no play, but also all work to play, and you get, and you, when you're about to work, you get more play, and the play is better as work. Keep it to the work, even you showing, keep it to the work. But I'm not also trying to act like something I'm not, but also for me the aesthetic had been, I had been ideas, and so had for me, when it was one thing that I could have hints about that would get traction. No sooner would I likely have an idea about something than I get a traction with it. That's how it would be something that is in a person's maybe like a blessing for someone, but your greater blessings are for other people, and the purpose of your blessing, I think, for other people, and their blessings are for you. Their purpose of their blessings is to bless you. So but I'm more of a blessing to people, and I get blessings with people when I have ideas. And at that time, when I was in the area like what I'm about to reference, my mom would take, she wasn't trying to come off of nothing for me to be having style and stuff, but I would still have ideas. And I uh um and so I'll be having these ideas from Target, and I'll be coming around the older, the seasoned people, and they'd be like, damn, where you, they would have to notice what I'll be doing with the ideas at a young age like that. But in some of these areas where I'd be at, like where I was passing tonight when I was young, it's I wanted to talk a little bit about I didn't mean to rehash this, but this a little, this is actually insight, this might be insightful for anyone that would have an ear to whom it may concern. But I was driving tonight through an area is very close to I'm in the Twin Cities, Minnesota, and we have a state school here. I won't reference the state school, but it's one of your bigger state schools in the whole country. So a lot of people may not know, but you have like different kinds of, like, a lot of people would say like, oh, right now, this is for the seventh graders, and then you guys are gonna learn this in high school, and then after that, it's for the people that go to college, or the college class is very big. So a lot of young people, they would be impressed by college, but a young person, they may not know the difference between what's referred to as college, university, community college, um, uh, and things like that, higher education. And there was a movie in the 90s called Higher Education. It was like a more of your is another one of your 90s movies that had like a lot of themes of violence, but also had some like some racial themes and overtones as they would have existed on like campuses back then. I couldn't probably appreciate a lot of the themes in there as a young person. I could grasp adult themes when I was young. I had a hunch what they were trying to communicate with things, more so because I had some propensities around communication. I think even some of my ideas around like attiring and clothing might have to do with communication first and foremost. Like maybe that might be that some of your talents, as they're translatable and transferable to other means, it might be the real actual you that comes across in different things that you would do. So like, oh, that person's an artist, oh, that person's in fashion, oh, but it's actually more the deeper part of you that's getting traction in that in that medium, in that mode. But what had more significance is you. Then that has more significance than the mode in the median in itself, and even what you do upon it and what's viable you doing it upon it had to do with the real you. So for me, it had been more communication, but finer than that would be just empathy. Is that I could often see myself, I could see people and see myself, I could see the best in people when I was young, and I could see people even as they were liking me and not, and as they were daunted and frustrated and not, like family and not. I could see who people are, and also sometimes I could take to people like I never is even as I could appreciate people, I didn't set out to influence people other than to be the best I can be and share the best I can be. But I never said, I bet this person would do that and that if they thought this and that. That hadn't been my thing, other than just bringing the best out. And I couldn't, if I were to do that, that would compromise the empathy, because the empathy is when you have right standing with people, when you mean well by people, you don't mean nothing past bad against people. You can feel them differently because that honesty, because we're fundamentally honest in this existence. That's what's like some people say that it's you should select for yourself certain outcomes and eventualities in aftermath that you may not like to experience. According to Judge Joe Brown, that would be like drowning, but for me that would be like espionage, or like deep cover, deep fake, and also being discovered like that would be horrible. And then also to be interrogated would be one of the horrible things. Not only interrogated physically, but interrogated mentally, verbally, and socially, where you are put between a rock and a hard place, between comrades, or even between yourself and yourself, where you have to, because one half or miss something leads to umpteen more, and it's painful because to be dishonest is painful for a person. So if you're in a position where you have to be dishonest, if you're in a position where you have to be less than honest, or differently honest than honest, or dishonest, that in itself is punishing and painful. And it's just exponentially so when you have yours and other people's well-being and livelihood at hand, at stake, or maybe even the people you're being interrogated by and against, their well-being at stake. That's one of the horrible things I can imagine a person can experience. And that's because this existence is fundamentally honest, because it's fundamentally love. So were I to try to gain advantage by anticipating people or appreciating people, that could actually compromise what I may have of viable of empathy. And it may be, I can't be like, oh, I could really do this, because it wouldn't be me at that point. But with the ideas for like fashion and fashion, it may have traction just because I have sensibilities about like what speaks to me and what may speak to another person because it speaks to me that way. So I'll that's all I wanted to say, is that I'm not trying to flex up on this content like that. But this is actually this how I would appear right now when this is occurring to me. And it gotta be practice and improvement constantly, all for no damn reason. If you want to be good for no damn reason, at something for no damn reason, that's interesting to you for no damn reason. And for me, that a lot of that's like present, like things that are like maybe artistic. But so a lot of young people, they may not know. So a lot of people, not young people, may not know what higher education is about. But even people in higher education might not know what higher education is about or is from. So some distinctions would be that if you go to higher education, generally you have different tiers of higher education. They're not different tiers, but different forms of higher education. So you have some education that would be like very, very specific, right? So like you have some that would be like say you wanted to go learn about like culinary. So different anything that you do in terms of education. One really deep thing. I was in a training venue back in the area near what I want to reference in about the early 2000s, like 2010 2011. And at that time Brock Lesnar was very popular. At that time MMA was more scary it was more daunting to people, because the first time you see something is the first time you see something. So you see that MMA stuff, you see somebody really get you see that somebody get their stuff packed, you see somebody get their belongings packed for them, right? They get they're sent on their way, right? They get their stuff packed and sent on their way like that. That's incredible for someone to see the at all, but especially the first time like that, because it's like, even if like say you turn on something on like a video and it's like that, it's that ratchet or that heinous or that incredible the first time you see it. But if you just let it play on repeat, like sometimes you have a short come up, like a digital short, it's like, oh shit, they did that, what, that? But you just let it play like that, and after a certain time it's like, yeah, that's not actually that incredible. And if that person does that all day, all the time, they're doing that, you actually see a little bit of the rhyme and reason to it, that yeah, they would probably do stuff like that because that's what they do a lot. But it's not, they're not more than or less than human because they would do that. But it's similar like with the fighting. But at that time, like early 2000s, Brock Lesnar was coming up, and I think he skirted the line between like professional wrestling and real wrestling. That's one of those things where it's like, professional wrestling is a little bit oxymoron, because when you're saying professional wrestling, you mean less than real fighting, but actually but they're getting paid like real fighting, but it's not actually real fighting when you say professional wrestling. Then you say like professional MMA is actually professional MMA, and now it's actually a little bit of professional wrestling too, because you would have like the theatrics and like the banter and the bravado. But then also it come to find out, it had been near about as rigged as professional wrestling is what we're told now. But still, it's more convincing, and people really can and appear to get hurt in that thing. So when Brock Lesnar was coming on the scene, he was about to fight. I think he's gonna fight somebody Overeem, and he was like a real fighter. Like no, like all he was about was fighting. Brock Lesnar was about training. He was an athlete. The other guy was a fighter and an athlete. Brock Lesnar was an athlete and a fighter and an entertainer, but it was like, but you could appreciate like that was some serious stuff. And I think at that time I had a friend in school, and that friend was like, he was like, some people have different cultures. That friend, he was a really cool brother. He's from Mexico. We just clicked when we met each other, because I was like a little bit further in training, and I was part of like a host. I was like an ambassador to new people, and like we were ambassadors, but like some of the people we were being ambassadors to were actually cooler and like more savvy. Like, oh, that's how that shit worked. But what if that happened? Oh, I don't know. Well, yeah. Oh, that's how that probably would work like that. But he was cool as hell. But at that time, like, cannabis was illegal. Him and I never did cannabis together, but we just clicked over the subject of cannabis. Like, damn, that would be. And what if you went to like Amsterdam? That'd be cool to go, because I think it's legal there right now. So we were really friends like that. But they like, I think like they have in Mexico, they have a culture about like get-togethers. So they didn't always have entertainment. Like we're more so like human beings didn't always have entertainment. But I think that a lot of things, when you had the radio come out, it kind of de-incentivized people to play their own music, because back in the day, sometimes personal pianos proliferated and guitars proliferated at different times. But when things went to the radio, that was the beginning of our slow ascent to hell, I think. And we're still on that ascent. Had started with the radio, that then became the TV, but a lot of that became people entertaining you for you like that. But other people, they didn't all the way fall. They couldn't maybe afford to get away from the older way of doing things, which was to party, because human beings, we're social. We need carnival. We need to party on the weekend, but also we need entertainment. And we've been doing that for ourselves. So a lot of times when I meet like people from Mexico or people from some of your Latin countries, other countries too, but especially Latin countries, a lot of them are handy around instruments. Not every, that would be prejudice to say they're all good with instruments, but a lot can be good with instruments. And it's because I think it's a culture about like get-togethers and entertainment, good times like that. But also good time, you make your own good time. You bring your own good times. Life of the party, no, music of the party. But then also they would like things like certain brands of beer. Everybody likes beer, right? Everybody likes to have a good time with as the spirits go the world over. But they have like specific ways of enjoying liquor, and then specific activities. And I think that I gather that one, like from some of your folks in Mexico, would be like your beer, simple beer, affordable beer, because they work hard, they play hard, but also that affordable stuff. But then also they like the boxing, the matches, like they like the boxing matches, the fighting matches. The fighting's part of the culture. Good times, music's part of the culture. That's all very seamless. So he was about beer and also about fighting. But then I think at that time, Brock Lesnar, he's about to fight somebody. It might not have been over him. It was somebody else. He's like, yeah, man. But when I'm fighting, dude, I'm about to drink a beer about it. But I'm also about to drink a beer before we had ever got to fighting. My specific friend, he could appreciate how egregious it would be sound for someone to say something like that.